Good morning, everyone. Oh, no response. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? How are we doing? Are you upset with me? Are you upset with me? What do I do to say sorry? Should I go on my knees? I should give you what? Mom. Are we okay now? Oh, please smile at me. Are we okay? I'm so sorry. We apologize profusely for starting late. It is entirely my fault. And I am very, very sorry. You know why? Because my dress didn't fit. So I had to make some last minute changes. So I'm very, very sorry. But I'm very happy that you've been patient with us. Nanaba is a very punctual person. And all of the people seated next to her, they're actually very punctual. So it's unfortunate that we're starting late, but I hope that you've forgiven me. Have we forgiven me? Thank you. I love you all back. And you're welcome. So, even against the greatest of odds, there is something in the human spirit. There is a magic blend of skill, of faith, and valor. That can lift people from defeat to incredible victory. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here today to do one of the rarest things to do as women, share our stories. Now, there's actually so much power in sharing stories, and incredible things happen when we share our stories. The time for women to share their stories, to share their defeats, victory, achievements, and courage is actually now, more than ever, and it is needed by all of us. So many women and girls will feel less lonely, and that's something Nanaba has been saying. If we were sharing it more. And so just like memories, stories are also a construct. We need to tell the worst stories of our lives and how we overcame them to pull everyone up with us. And these things have helped so many of us. It's National Women's Day tomorrow, and the focus is on digital. And so we urge every one of us here to share our stories and embrace technology, because it's the only way that we can own it. If we do not speak, the world will continue to define who we are, dictate our pace, and fill in the gaps for us like they've been doing all of these years. I'm sure that you all know my name, but for those who don't know, my name is Sewa Mihe, and I am so happy and excited and humbled to be your host today. I have a story. In fact, I have so many of them that I can share with you and how I overcame them. But I'll tell you later in the day when the show is on. Let's start off with a welcome message from the creator of Women of Valor, Nanaba Namwa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for her. On behalf of the team behind Women of Valor, I'm excited to welcome you to our maiden edition today. It's taken me 10 good years to finally do this. I waited on the Lord for an epiphany and finally received it in December 2022. The rest is what we are seeing today. As the world marks International Women's Day, we at the Women of Valor are of the firm view that there is power in people's stories and so much strength in women's stories. From the markets, to hospitals, to schools, to homes, to the corporate world and more, women are confronted with enormous challenges that threaten our quest to achieve gender parity. In the midst of these challenges, however, some have braved the storm, and we believe you can too. The 2023 Women of Valor that I carefully selected to share their stories of courage are phenomenal. Omotola is more than a screen goddess. She epitomizes courage, perpetual relevance, consistency, and professionalism. One look at Omotola and you know that valor that struggles is better than weakness that endures. Julia is every football fan's favorite. In a sector overly dominated by men, she's held her own, rising gradually and finally sticking out like a sore thumb. Julia is a testimony that in Valour there is hope. And then our very own Eugenia, an activist worth her salt, a victim of abuse, her courage knows no boundaries. Eugenia stands tall. She shows respect to all but grovels to none. Valour is her adornment. The rise of women is not the fault of men. Gender balance has gone beyond just a woman's issue. It is an economic issue that needs to be tackled head-on. For our men watching today, we need you on board. Every single one of us has a major role to play. Let's use our voices and actions to push for positive change. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy the show and a happy International Women's Day to every woman on this planet.
Let's put our hands together for Nana Banaba. Oh, so those who are not clapping, are you not happy to see here? Thank you, that's better. Let me say a very big thank you to our partners who have made this possible, to ALS, Joy FM, GH1 Television, UTV, Peace FM, Kobiche, Ghana Web, Halomax, Image Bureau, Office & Co.,
The King Studio, Beautiful Beneath, AfriMass Network, Premier 369, Aligenia Beauty Parlor, Carrie Beauty and Spa, Oh My Hair, Stanners Beauty and Luxury Studio, Wella Dazzles, Labadi Beach Hotel, and Planned by Olive. Thank you all so much for making this possible. We know our speakers, but let me just acknowledge the presence of a few here who are not billed to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Mrs. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari. She's a lawyer. Mrs. Nada Abujinapo. Let's put our hands together for her. She's a lawyer as well, and she's the wife of the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abujinapo. Thank you so much for coming. Mr. Kwame Janswa is also here with us. He's the chairman of the political affairs of the CPP, and I'm actively campaigning for him to lead the CPP. Will you people vote for CPP? Oh, Mr. Janswa. You people won't vote for CPP. And we are stuck with NDC and NPPO. Sandra Nkobia is a lawyer as well, and she's here. Let's put our hands together for her. We already know our speakers, so I would not like to jump the gun to introduce them. And for those whose names I haven't mentioned, I'm not done. I'm doing it in badges. So when I come back, I'll mention your name. But if you want me to mention your name too, you can see me. You know, I can take something small and mention your name here. That's just by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our main speakers, Omotola, Julia, and Eugenia as they enter. They are not coming, because the applause isn't loud. Oh, that's better. That's better. That's better. Oh, look at them. So beautiful. So beautiful.
I'm a woman and you no fit to control me. No fit to
Do you see the attitude of Omotola? Oh my God.
And when I walk into a room, you won't know me. I bet you won't know me. I'm on fire. You know fit sit up on my heat. I'm on fire. And you won't know I'm a woman of valor. You cannot rain on my parade. I'm on fire. Woman of
Oh, put your hands together for them.
Invincible, unbreakable, you know.
And there goes Julia. Eugenia, I beg your pardon, Eugenia. Let's put our hands together for them.
This is my story, and I feel bored. I'm ready to roll. I'm on fire. You know, fit sit up on my heat. I'm on.
Okay. We're set now. Are you happy with me now? Oh, yes. When I came in, you wouldn't clap for me. There you are clapping so loud. Oh, you clap for me, clap for me. Nanaba is not clapping. Enemy of progress. All right, thank you all so much. And clap for yourselves. You're a beautiful audience and guests. Okay. Thank you once again for the patience, and we're happy to do this with you. Nanaba is super excited that you're all here. She's been having sleepless nights for weeks putting this together. So I want us to put our hands together for her one more time. Okay, so the ALX team have got something to tell us. The ALX team, if you're ready. Let's put our hands together for. Have you guys seen the video that Nanaba did on the ALX team and what they are offering? How many of us are interested? Some don't know, but they are waving their hands. It's okay. Even me, I don't know, but me too, I'm waving. Let's put our hands together for her.
Good morning, distinguished guests, panelists, women of valor, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be speaking on behalf of ALX as the marketing lead for Accra. In celebration of International Women's Day, taking place on 8th March, that's tomorrow specifically, ALX announced its first dedicated software engineering cohort for women, enabling up to 50,000 women across Africa to participate in the global technology revolution and helping to transform the tech status quo throughout the continent. The cohort forms part of ALX Women and Tech Initiative and was inspired by the United Nations IWD theme of Digit All, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. ALX is showing its commitment to bridging the digital gender divide in Africa, increasing the representation of women in the technology sector, and driving the participation of women to innovate and create solutions for a diverse world. This cohort will provide a launchpad for women to grow their careers in one of the most exciting and in-demand fields in the world. As part of African Leadership Group International, ALX is a leading technology training provider that offers world-class programs to thousands of young people across Africa, equipping them with both the professional and technical skills that enable them to thrive in high-growth industries. Now, if you look at the statistics, women comprise just 5% of global software engineers. And if you consider that in Africa, it is estimated we have 690,000 software engineers, you can tell that women are very few in that demographic. So what we are doing is we want to bridge that divide. So it is through this female cohort that ALX will reduce this disparity. So thanks to partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, ALX is offering sponsored placements to thousands of young women who meet the eligibility criteria for this program. And that means if you are between 18 to 34, all you need is a laptop and access to the internet, and you are part of the program. Sponsored placements means that you do not have to worry about the fees, which range between $7,500 to $15,000. So because of this, we know that our association with Halberton, a leading Silicon Valley trainer, which has now made ALX one of the largest software engineering trainers in the world. Since we have aligned this mission, we are now going to enable women to have the best in class digital skills and excellence. Now, applications for the ALX software engineering intake for women closes on the 15th of March. This program will start on the 27th of March. Remember, again, you don't need any prior experience or background in IT to apply. You just need to pass the entry requirements. 18 to 34, access to internet with a laptop. So thank you very much for your support, Anaba. Thank you very much for giving us this platform. To the women of Valor, we thank you that because of your experiences, because you overcame, we have become better. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So don't go. Please wait 1 second. Nekra is saying, do you understand Chi?
Oh, of course.
So Nekra is saying,
If you are a lady between 18 to 34, please apply for our software engineering program. 18 to 34, access to internet, and they are sponsored placements. So you don't need to worry about the funds to pay school fees.
are we happy? So you won't clap for me. I made the thing easy for you. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for her. Okay, so what we're doing here today really is to have a conversation. So don't feel too uptight, okay? Relax, have fun. Let's laugh together. Let's not be too professional. Because if we are to do that, all of these women here, and even those of you in there, the place will be too stiff. Let's not be stiff, okay? Are we okay? So there's a woman here who is our keynote speaker. I have never, had a proper conversation with her, but I've heard so much about her through Nanaba Namwa. And she's a lawyer. All of the people that I've heard speak about her say she's a super intelligent lawyer. And I love lawyers because I want to be a lawyer. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for our keynote speaker, Na Odofole Norte. And she loves to dress. Oh, all her photos, she's always killing it. Oh, you can do better.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen, minus the photographers, 5. Hello, gentlemen of Valor. Welcome. If you are here to listen to pearls of wisdom, I'm sorry you have to wait for the panel members to get to that. But if you want to, like she said, relax and have a conversation about what it is to be a woman of valor, then you are in the right place and you can now listen to me. When Nanaba sent me an email asking that I be the keynote speaker at this function, she sent the topic as well. For 3 weeks, the only thing that I could think of, and guess what the topic is? When the going got tough. That was the topic she sent to me. The only thing for 3 weeks that I could think about was a song by Billy Ocean. I'm sure most of you are too young to know that Billy Ocean actually has a song titled When the Going Gets Tough. That was what kept ringing in my mind until sometime last week when I went into a blind panic and I decided to put a few words down. So at this point, since I am not 18 to 34, and I cannot, even though I have internet access and a laptop somewhere, and I don't qualify for ALX, I will put on my glasses and deliver my keynote address. Applaud me, please. Now, when the going got tough, many great songs were released in 1976. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John, but notable amongst them was Sexy Thing by a band called Hot Chocolate. The opening line to that song goes, I believe in miracles. Say where you from, you sexy thing. Oh, you know it. That's great. Now, that was the year I chose to enter the world. 1976, a long time ago. And that song is the soundtrack to my life. For those of you who know me, I'm very easygoing. I don't take myself too seriously. I'm from Osuashinte. For those who don't know where that is, it's somewhere around the night market. And the very moment of my entry into the world, I knew that it was going to be tough. You know why? Instead of appearing at the Cedar Sinai, probably in California, I appeared at Kolebu, Georgesburg's Kolebu. That was the beginning of things getting tough. I had a rather modest upbringing, both parents civil servants employed by the University of Ghana. I grew up on Legon campus, number 15, for those of you who know the campus. I attended the greatest primary school in the world, University Primary School. And in nursery 2, again, my suspicion that I was going to be a great woman, a woman of valor, was confirmed. Guess why? In nursery 2, I, now Jofole Note, was chosen to play Mary, the mother of Jesus, in the nativity play. I mean Mary, not Magdalene, the whole, but Mary, the mother of Jesus. Never mind that the teacher in charge of the nativity play that year was actually my aunt. I was the obvious choice. Never in the history of the nativity play has my one line been delivered with such theatrics and aplomb. Omotola, you would have been proud of me. So there I stood. Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it be unto me according to thy word. Luke 1:38. I knew already that I was on my way to greatness. Class 3, nativity play. Guess who was Mary again? Yours truly. Of course, they had not lived down my nursery 2 delivery. So, I was again chosen to play Mary. Again, I knew I was going to be great. Never mind again that it was the same aunt who was in charge of the play. So, this morning, I have the privilege to claim that twice I have played the role of the mother of Jesus. Applaud me. Somehow I managed to finish University Primary. I did not play Mary again. I guess they were tired. And I found myself on the hills of Kakumdu. This was in the late 80s. No, it can't be early 80s. Late 80s. Of course, I've seen my senior sister Joyce, one of the mean seniors I met in Wesley Girls. I got there. I was very naughty, she would say. Very cheeky. And always being punished. I think my first punishment was I wore leggings. So I was made to kneel down on Block B front lawn. For those of you who went to Wesley Girls, yes, Block B front lawn. I was very excited when I visited the school, I think 2 weeks ago, for the speech and prize giving day. It's always great to go back to your alma mater. And those of you who do not support your secondary school, please, today, Women of Valor is one of the things you really should do. Support the system that has contributed to your well-being. There's a blessing in it. And as Jesus' mother, take it from me to be the gospel truth. Boarding house in the early 90s was tough. For those of you who would remember, there were perennial water shortages, food shortages. There was even the program of action to mitigate the social cost of adjustment. I think it was called PAMSCAT. We were lucky. The school authorities insulated us from the general hardship in the country. But then again, the then Minister of Education had his daughter there. The chairman of the PNDC had 2 daughters there, and the former president had 4. So we were okay. The going was tough, but somehow by providence, I found myself cocooned and protected from it all. One would have thought under the circumstances that in spite of all that was going on, these were just the days right after the revolution, I would have chosen to join perhaps the school choir or maybe the drama club or something more worthy. But no, guess what I did? I became a school dancer. Sister Joyce is here. She would confirm I was one of the best school dancers ever to grace the annals or the corridors of Wesley Girls High School. I returned after my O-level in 94, did 2 more years. Those days we went to school for 7 years. It was not 3 years, 7 solid years. I managed to pass my A-level somehow in 1996 and then had to stay home for 1 year because UTAG went on strike. I entered the University of Ghana. I was in the law faculty, as you may have guessed. I was in Volta Hall, L14. Anybody from Volta Hall here? Lovely. Oh, only one. Hey. 2. Oh, okay. 2. We'll take it like that. Usually it would have been half of the room. I don't know what's going on. Now, it is very important at this point to note that you need to have a safety net of people you can trust. People who have your back. No matter how many thousands follow you on social media, as they say, or in the words of, I don't know who said that, but they said social media is not a real place. You need to have somebody, when the going gets tough, who you can literally pick your phone and call. Ladies, it is very important. You need to have that kind of friend who is there for you through thick and thin. You should have that one person who can look you in the face and say, the emperor is naked. Do not be that kind of person where nobody, your boss who I am, but no. Somebody should be able to tell you when you are wrong. You need that kind of person in your life. Especially when you are a woman in leadership. It's very easy for the power to go to our heads. We know, we like power, but have somebody who would tell you, Madam, no, don't do it. One thing we should not do, and this is not a sermon, please, why as women do we have such difficulty saying to your fellow woman, you look lovely, that dress suits you, I love your hair, your makeup is on point. Why do we find it so difficult to compliment each other? What is it? Why? I'm not asking for an answer now. I was given only 10 minutes, but think about it. If you don't do it, please do it, because sometimes that kind word from you will change somebody's day. You don't, as women, we go through a lot. We literally have so many balls in the air all at the same time. We are not one-dimensional. We are multi-dimensional people, unlike the men. We do a lot of things, sometimes totally unrelated but all at the same time. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be kind to each other, please. Whenever I meet young ladies, I want them to know that the sky is the limit. We are born into a patriarchal society. From infancy, we are told what we can do as women and what we cannot do. We grow up having self-doubt. We question ourselves, our values, our choices, our aspirations. We are told that some things are for women. It is a very common place to hear a man say, "Oba na uko speed sa no." In our schools, the teachers and the male students want us to stay small, stay doubtful. At home, our brothers think they are our bosses. Our culture reinforces that notion. We are expected to dress a certain way. It's a taboo to be single, successful, and on top of your career. Some man will be given credit for your hard work. You need to believe in yourself. You need to rise above all and be successful. I was lucky to have great teachers right from primary school through to secondary school. In Wesley Girls, we were indoctrinated to believe that we are the best. We were made to believe that there's nothing we cannot achieve if we put our mind to it. We are confident because we were told that we were the cream of society. And Mrs. Echampon would always tell us not to cast our pearl before swine. I'm not too sure who the swine were, but I have a clue. What others called haughtiness is nothing but unadulterated confidence and self-worth. And this can only be achieved through hard work and discipline. For the students here, please, how many of you are from the universities or tertiary students? Oh, that's quite a lot of you. I'm speaking to you now. Listen, I beg you in the name of Jesus, and yes, it's written in the speech, enjoy your student days. Please, make time for social activities. It's very important. In Legon, I had an intern on campus. He was a medical student. Today, he's a medical doctor in North Carolina. So if you find yourself there and you need medical assistance, call me. I'll hook you up. On campus, life was great. I was in HM on Friday nights, but by Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m., packs. Thank you. I would be at St. Thomas Aquinas without fail. The antics of the vandals did not faze me. In fact, by the time I graduated, I could sing most of the songs. My favorite is Dabo Dabo. If there are any vandals here, they know the words to that song. Terrible boys. I made new friends in the university, some of whom today are running this country. I managed to go through law school without incident, and I must say it was stressful, but not as stressful as the challenges of getting into the law school today. What's with that? I see the story every year, and I'm thankful that our time it was much easier to become a lawyer and get called to the bar in Ghana. As a junior lawyer and the only female pupil among an all-male firm, I was literally treated as one of the boys. After all, for those of you who are lawyers here, you know that there are no women at the bar. I was eager to learn and very ambitious. I registered with the legal aid and was accepting briefs from indigent Ghanaians, whom I used as my guinea pigs to hone my skills. I made a little money, but the focus was to learn. I opted to do litigation, which, mind you, is not very usual for female lawyers, as is difficult and near impossible to combine with family life. I have attended court in almost every region in the country. I will drive to Ho, Sekendita, Kradi, Kofodria, Swedro, Cape Coast to do my cases. Almost 2 decades later, I am still doing this. I was fearless and very driven. I met people from all walks of life, And today, almost 2 decades of practicing law, human beings, you scare the hell out of me. There is no substitute for hard work. Believe me, if there was, lazy as I am, I would have found it. As a family law practitioner and having encountered a lot of people going through divorce and other family issues, I have a very different worldview and very little shocks me. Family law practitioners, we see and hear things, and you quickly come to realize that many are mad, few are naked, myself not excluded. The more you excel, the more you do well for yourself, the greater the adversity. It is actually called the tall poppy syndrome. Now, tall poppy syndrome occurs when women are attacked and resented, disliked, criticized, or cut down because of their achievements and success. This is actually a study that is being led by Dr. Rumit Bilan. The study is first of its kind and looks at women working from all demographics and professionals to determine how their mental health, well-being, engagements, and performance are affected by interactions with their colleagues, leaders, and surroundings. The results are significant. Women's success is under attack in workplaces around the world. The more accomplished an individual is, the more likely she'll face aggressions, not only from those in positions of seniority, but also from her peers. Young ladies in this room, soon some of you will graduate. You would enter the job market. You will start paying bills. You will start planning your wedding. You will start having children. You will be changing diapers, packing lunch, listening to the wheel on the bus until you want to fling yourself off a cliff. Trust me, I've been there. You will have to choose between buying data to finish your project work or buying a cute top you saw on Instagram. You will have to choose between ECG credits and some very strappy, sexy shoes you've seen. You would have to choose between a lovely, short, inappropriate dress or buying data bundle to finish your work. It doesn't get easy. Life will come at you hard and fast. But you have this. If I were to poll the women here, most of them would love to return to their father's home where they don't have to pay bills or have to take certain life decisions. It is that bad. Yes, I mean to scare you. But you have this because you are a woman of valor. You've got this. You will make difficult choices. You may have to choose between your non-profitable passion and a well-paying but mind-numbing job. You will pray to God for a tall man. You will end up with Tyrion Lannister. You will pray for a daughter. God will bless you with twin boys or none at all. But that is life. Take care of yourselves. Be sincere in your dealings. Take care of your health. Get a pap smear. Examine your breast for lumps. Eat healthy. Try and exercise. Don't be like me. Preserve your mental health. Avoid toxic relationships and people. Eat good. Learn a soft skill. Try and relax. Watch a movie. Go to the beach. Be at one with nature. Serve your God. But above all, be true to yourself. It's 9 minutes. I have 1 more minute. In the words of John Kennedy, now I have to put in, because I was given a topic, so I have to come back on to the topic. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's also the words of Billy Ocean. I suspect John Kennedy, who lived before Billy Ocean, stole it from Billy Ocean. Once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through. Don't forget, you have survived COVID. That's something to be thankful for. I will conclude with the words of one of my favorite singers, Pink. The chorus to her song Try goes, where there is desire, there's gonna be a flame. Where there's a flame, someone's bound to get burned. But just because it burns doesn't mean you're going to die. You've got to get up and try. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for her. Our keynote speaker, Na Odofole Note.
I believe in miracles.
Okay. Are we ready to rock and roll? Oh. Are we ready? Are we ready? Oh, come on, guys. Are we ready? Okay. So you know that before the main speakers, there's a side attraction. And we're going to get into that now. Our very first speaker, Obobia Dakun Opoku. Allow me to introduce her. You people, hold on. Hey, Obobia get fans. Obobia is a business executive. She's a philanthropist. She's a communications professional. Obobia has many years of journalism practice, including being a radio and TV personality, working with many platforms here in Ghana. She's a former on-air personality at Radio Gold, hosted the breakfast show on TV Africa, and she currently works with Wazor TV, one of Accra's exciting television networks. She's a former Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Free Zones Authority. Now, over the past few years, Obobia herself so much to be one of the finest public speaking professionals in the country, speaking on various platforms and programs. She's also an astute marketing and brand specialist, currently in school to be a professor in branding and marketing, product and personality branding. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we put Opoku? And this woman, she's my headache. Oh, let's do it.
How's everybody doing? First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Na. That was a very powerful speech. Thank you very much. It takes one woman to motivate the next woman. So I think you just did that this morning, and thank you very much. And standing on all protocols, I'd like to say that I'm happy to be here. Once again, I want to say congratulations to the participants for making that bold decision to be part of today's event. And then I want for all of us, with a standing ovation, let's congratulate Nanaba for this amazing decision. Nanaba tells us that she's been thinking about this for 10 years. And finally, in 2023, this is the first edition of the Women of Valour. Isn't it amazing? Let's get it once again for Nanaba. Congratulations, girl. I am proud of you. I'm sure all of us here are proud of you. You're doing exceptionally well in your little corner towards women empowerment and growth. And we can only say congratulations. We hope that every year it will get better. And to our amazing ladies who are guest speakers, thank you very much for joining us here this morning. We are very grateful. If today is your first time of meeting me, let me introduce myself again. My name is Obobia Dakon Opuku. In addition to my daytime job, and I'm sure you all know what I do during the day. Do you know? Okay, so I'm a by day politician and by night working with the youth of this country, as many as possible. I am the founder of the Ignite Youth Empowerment Initiative, a young women mentorship and empowerment program. I came up with Ignite because of my belief that if my generation, and I mean myself, Nanaba, and all of us, if we were privileged enough to benefit from the guidance and mentorship the present generation of young people have, we would have been better off than we are today. I'm sure Nanaba would not have been nurturing that dream for 10 years. She would have just dreamt about it, and then it will come to pass. Because you have the opportunity, I'm very sure that you and your generation are very lucky people. And that's why I celebrate Nanaba this morning. Hello, Gen Z. Are you guys in the house? This is the hard truth. And I'm going to say it as it is. I don't care when I'm done and I get down and sit on my seat and you don't feel like saying hello to me. It's okay. But I'm just going to say it as it should be said to this generation. And I'm speaking to the 1999-2012 babies. And you know you belong to that bracket that we call the Gen Z people. Is that right? Did I get it right? Are you ready? Get your seatbelts on. All your shock absorbers, get ready, because I'm just going to say it as it is. When I talk about Gen Z, I mean a generation that was raised on the internet and social media. I know most, if not all of you, have not experienced the world without the internet. Is it a lie? It should come as no surprise that Gen Z is the most impatient generation. And when I say impatient, I mean that even if they are calling you for something that will save their soul, they are not able to be on that phone for 30 seconds to wait for you to pick up that phone, because they do not have patience. Everything should come very fast. And that's why everything in this world is becoming fast. So we are getting the fast foods, we are getting the fast tracks, everything is fast. Even Indomie is cooked under 1 minute. Now lie. Everything is supposed to come to you. The moment you dream about it, it should come to you. So you don't have the patience to wait. Now, here's the cold truth. We are in the era that the youth have taken over the internet. Social media is shaping their lives into a certain lifestyle that ordinarily it would have taken you a decade to get to that level. What is even shocking is to know that they want a favor from you that will eventually save their lives, but they are impatient to wait for your response. Many of you are driving your helpers away because you do not have patience. Some of these helpers, if you had had a little patience, would have changed your situation from the day you encountered them. But because you do not have patience, these helpers do not stay to help you through that journey. Yes, this is a generation of convenience. Your sense of entitlement is nauseating. And I must say sometimes it stinks. Because at the end of the day, that help that you're walking away from because you do not have patience could have changed your life forever. And I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about. Take your mind back to that lady who was offering a little advice for you not to take the left turn, but to take the right turn, but you thought that she was getting into your business. For that lady who told you that if your dress was slightly to your knee, but then you didn't have to expose that much skin, that you got so angry. What's your business? Are you my mother? That could have helped you. So as you sit there, I want you to cast your mind back to that person who found it a point to always be at your back to tell you that this turning will not favor you. But maybe if you are taking the next turning, it would have been better for you. There's this trend that is gaining popularity in recent times. They call it soft life. They call it what? Soft life. And I'm sure you know the soft life I'm talking about. People want to live comfortable lives without any effort. And the social media is helping to shape that perspective. Social media, even though is a useful tool you can use to leverage on, I cannot overemphasize the fact that social media lately has become a land of false extremes. And when I talk about false extremes, you know what I'm talking about. Not all you see or hear on social media is the reality. Social media today is pushing a lot of you out of your comfort into someone's version of a perfect life. And when I talk about someone's version of a perfect life, you understand me? Just because I'm standing here and I look like this doesn't mean that I just started looking like this and being like that and being obobia, daku, opoku. I'm coming from far away, but one step at a time. Some of you simply think that the moment you sit in the car should move straight to its destination. No. There are speed bumps on the way. There are traffic lights are on the way. And you might get even a flat tire on the way. So it doesn't mean that the moment you sit in that car, you will get to your destination. The internet has completely rewritten your ways of life. Amma drives a good car, appears to travel around the world, has meals in the best restaurants, and is constantly posting her adventures on social media. And this is causing Equia depression. Do you know how Amma got there? Do you know what Amma goes through in the night to do what she does? Do you know where Amma's parents are coming from? Do you know what they own? Do you know what she has inherited or she's about inheriting? You can simply not run your lives because you see that the next person is doing well, so automatically you have to do well. Amma is sitting in first class. Do you know how she got the ticket? No. Why do you want to sit in first class? And even if you get to sit there, are you happy about the things that you did to go and sit there? Even if you simply want to sit in first class, does it mean it should come now? At the right time. In God's own time. He makes all things what? Beautiful. And when the Lord blesses you, He simply adds no sorrow. The moment you step out of your room, you don't struggle to get things. Things come to you easily. And that's how come you have a friend who decides, plans everything, and the moment they say, I will do this, they get it done, and it's so perfect. It doesn't mean anything. We are not grace mates. The grace upon my head is different from the grace upon Sandra's head. Auntie Charlotte's grace is separate. She's different. It doesn't mean that because Auntie Charlotte is former electoral commission boss, so when I grow up, I will also be an electoral commissioner. And that's the way of thinking. That's the way Gen Z is thinking. And if we don't begin to tell you guys the truth, I'm sure that one day we will all sit here, look up here, throw our hands in despair and say that we could have helped you. So what we are going to do from all of us here, and I'm sure that you're seeing it already, is to always remember to tell you guys the hard truth. And for you to know that one step at a time. Slow down. And I think that all of you here should listen to me clearly. I'm saying that Gen Z, slow down. Seems everyone on social media presently is infected with the same problem. Go to IG, TikTok, Snap, even Facebook. The value is the same. People are driving borrowed cars and acting as owners of those cars. And you want one of those cars? It's not for her. She has a deal with the car dealers and some the rental cars. Once a while, she will go and take it, drive it, take all the snap pictures and everything. And you think that, okay, I finished school with Amma. Amma is driving a Range now. Excuse me? It is not for Amma. It's a borrowed car. So just in case you don't know, let's tell you that it is not everything you see on social media that is real. Some, and I mean most of them, are fake. And fake, I want to say it in capital letters. F-A-K-E. Fake. So don't ever envy the next person and think that somebody is doing well more than you are doing. I'm telling you, you are sleeping well. That person is not sleeping well. And the earlier you realize that, the better. Wake up to reality. Life, it is not about what you do today. It is about where you are headed. And that should always be what you should be working on. It's a process. These days, all of you, and please forgive me, there are all these adverts talking about Keyamata, pussy tightening. Everything for men, for boys. Black pencils under your eyes, and they say that wherever you get to, all the men will be following you. They will be signing checks for you without thinking. They will be giving you what ordinarily they wouldn't have wanted to give you because of whatever it is that you have washed your face with, whatever it is that you used to wash your before you stepped out. You are joking. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, those who do not use the tightening business, those who do not do anything special, they are the ones who have the men who pay. Did you hear me? I said those who do not do anything special. And I'm sure sometimes you see those people and you're wondering, say, now where I don't know, forgive me, how did that person find that man? I don't know, and sometimes you even see wedding photos and wedding videos and stuff like that, and you're like, they don't do anything special, my dear. Hello? They don't do anything special. Stop killing yourselves. Stop doing things that one day, when you grow up, you will regret that you have gone through that process. And I'm telling you, the day you don't try, that's the day you find that special man. That's the day you find that boyfriend. That's the day that you find your helper. So begin to go according to your pace. We are not in a race. I'm not going to be first. Sewa is not going to be second. Nanaba is not going to be third. At the end of the day, we shall all be charged by what we do on this earth. How would you want to be remembered? How will you want to be remembered? I repeat, this generation lacks patience. You want everything, yet you do not want to work for it. People have worked. People have gone to school. Let me ask you, what is your business buying a 20,000 Ghana cedis high heels? Yes. What do you need it for? Because someone is wearing it. You know perfectly well that you cannot even afford to walk in those heels. That Sewa is walking in 120 heels. So me, Obobia, I'm going to invest in that heels. I simply cannot walk in them. What is your business? Dreaming about it and thinking that the next morning some guy somewhere, wherever you get that money from, you want to go and buy those heels. How will you walk? How are you even going to look like when you step out there in those heels? I'm not going to go and put myself in that trouble. If Sewa wears 120 and I can afford those shoes, I will go and buy a 75 mm because I will be comfortable in those heels. And that's how you should begin to think. That's how your mind should begin to deal with things that you cannot afford. If somebody is wearing a Louboutins and you get your Zara, yet you can wear the 120 mm, are you in competition with anybody? Are we getting to functions and removing our shoes for people to see the logos and what do they call them? Whoever made your shoes? No. Just make sure that when you get there, everybody knows that you have arrived. And many of you, even if you wear Zara dresses, Primark, whatever, you stand out when you get there. It's just the personality. It's how you present yourself. It is not about wearing designer shoes, designer bags, and all that makes you who you are. It's how you present yourself, and I'm sure that my sister Shika will come and talk about that. But I'm telling you, take your time. Stop rushing. We can all not be the same. Instead of the person wearing those shoes to be an inspiration to you, to work harder, to get where she has gotten to afford those shoes, you rather are being pressurized to match up with her lifestyle. Learn to compliment people, and that's one point that Na made that I was so happy about. You don't want to compliment anybody. What's wrong with saying, "Oh, Joyce, I like your braids, and I love the fact that you're always in braids"? That's your signature. What's the point in saying that today you are looking beautiful? I love those slippers. Where did you get them? If you can't afford, you can afford something similar that is your pocket size. Learn to compliment each other. The thing is beautiful, yet because of who is wearing it, you can't compliment it. When they get home, they start calling people. Do you have some of this dress? They take the photos and then go and show it to. Do you have some? I want some. Meanwhile, when you saw the person wearing it, you didn't say a word. What is so difficult about letting people know that we enjoy their looks, we enjoy how they present themselves and everything? We cannot do that. And at the end of the day, what do we lose? You will be amazed if I tell you the men that will help you, move you up there, are not the ones who will warm your bed. Yes, you heard me right. Did you hear me? Yes. I say that the men who will be of help to you in this world are not the ones who will sleep with you. And everything that I have owned all my life, that is like something that I really needed, didn't come from a man who slept with me or got any sexual favors from me. So I'm telling you, don't jump into people's bed and simply think that because you are sleeping with them, they will do everything for you. You will be mistaken. Sometimes it's about doing that little gesture for that person. It's about running an errand. It's about saying, "Excuse me, please, can I help you?" And that person is easily touched by what you say to that person. It doesn't have to be about love. It doesn't have to be about all the things that we think that it will bring us all the good men. You are not in any competition with anybody. The person that you are in competition with is yourself. If there's anybody on earth you're in competition with, it's yourself. You are 30 years old. You simply think that you are done with your degree. You want to do masters by all means. Are you serious? If you are not ready to make payment to go back to school for your masters, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just simply means that maybe you should work a bit, get what you want, and pay for what you want to achieve later on in life. So please, stop let us worrying ourselves about what somebody has and I don't have, and what somebody doesn't have, and I want to get it by all means and tell people that she didn't get it, but I got it. As rightly put by Ali Audrey, life is not a race. You will get to your beautiful destination in your own time. And I said, in your own what? Time. 2 minutes more. Nana, but you told her to come and sack me.
Oh, no.
Okay, and I really want to say this. It's okay to have your degree at 30. Just like me, it is okay to pursue your postgraduate after age 40. There's nothing wrong if you marry at the age of 40 or 50. Thank you very much. You will not commit any crime if you buy your first car at age 50. You know what is not okay? Hear me out. What is not okay is when you refuse to work hard to materialize your dreams and full potential. I'm 45, heading to 46 in August. I'm sitting in the classroom pursuing my master's degree. So I'm telling you that if you finished your degree at 22 and you think that you haven't had money, your parents haven't had money for you to continue to where you want to go to, there's nothing wrong with it. I sit in that class, and the young people in that class, they cherish me. I'm buying data, they are doing all the work. And they are submitting in my name. So I'm just saying that sometimes it's even good to go at this time. So if you haven't had the opportunity to continue your education, it's not the end of the world. Always remember that Obobia is heading to 46 and she's back in the classroom. It doesn't change anything. Wrapping up, I will say, never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Be like water, not luxurious, but valuable for life. Hello, Gen Z. I hope you enjoyed me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for Bobia Dakwopok. Not yet. Please stay there. Not yet. Okay, so we're going to take 2 questions for Bobia, just 2, because of time. So I'm here. If you need the microphone to ask your question, just give me a wave and I'll come to you. Oh, the hands are so many. Who do I choose? I saw that first, so I'll come there. When you get the microphone, please tell us your name, just a little bit of introduction before your question. And everyone is entitled to 1 question. Don't ask 5 questions in one.
Okay, thank you very much for the submission. You talked about opening up sometimes. My name is Mary Maka Komodo, preferably Maka. You talked about opening up when you feel overwhelmed. That's not what you said exactly, but sometimes it can be dangerous because you don't even know who you are opening up to. Like you said, some people, they pretend to like you. But how can you deduce or come to the point that this person doesn't like me, and you go about telling the person about your business?
Thank you. Let me take the last question, then you can answer together. Who wants to ask a question? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies. My name is Abba Utibo. I would want to ask a question concerning learning how to compliment others. And my question is, Mommy, is it about inferiority complex that make people not to compliment others, or it's just a spirit of jealousy? I want to know.
Thank you, Bobia.
Okay, thank you very much. I like the point about being careful about who to open up to and who to pour your heart out to. Because of my own experiences with people that you simply think that this is my person and eventually it turns out to be something else. I know that is a very delicate area, but I'm telling you, once a while that person will show up. If it doesn't show up now, one of the days you find that person that no matter what it is, you just go, take off your wigs, throw your shoes, sit on the carpet, cry. And when you cry, that person cries with you. That person is simply listening to you, and you know that this is a heart that is listening to you, sharing in your pain, and helping you to get out of that problem. But they are difficult to find. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that take chances, because most of the time when we take chances, we are hit very hard. And sometimes you wonder why you decided to pour your heart out. I have my mentees who are here this morning. Are you guys in the house? So I have about 100 mentees on the Ignite Youth Empowerment Initiative. I have about 30 here. Thank you, Nanaba, for giving us a slot. We are very grateful. You know, we love you, don't you? But I'm saying that for them, they always know that when there's a problem, when there's that difficult decision to make, they know they can run to me. They know that when you come and pour your heart out, you are safe, it doesn't get anywhere and all that. I pray that everybody in here and out there at one point in time will find that person that you can simply go, be on the phone with 1 hour, go to her house, whatever. And there are some people that the moment they call me, I know there's a problem. I know they are coming to pour. You understand me? And I'm ready to listen, because at the end of the day, I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing for them. But I don't know about the others. So I pray that may the Lord himself send you helpers who will have listening ears, who will not tell your stories out there for people to make fun of you, but helpers who will listen, join you in that pain, be able to connect you to your helpers, and be able to keep your secrets with them, and you will know that my secret is safe with this person. It's not, they are not easy to find, but I pray that you find those people very soon.
Amen.
Amen. You know, there are some people who simply do not compliment anything about the next person. You know that?
Yes.
And I simply see those people as weak people. Because if you cannot celebrate the next person, how do you want to be celebrated? And they are the ones who will always come and say that, oh, how was I looking? Was I looking nice? Was my hair nice? Was my this, that? But that person never tells you that, oh, Bobia, today you are looking beautiful. So I'm just saying that for those people, instead of thinking whether they are envious, they are jealous or something like that, leave them in that box, leave them there. Don't waste your time thinking about what they are and what they are not. Just enjoy the ones who are bold enough to tell you how you're looking this morning, and how your hair is looking nice, and how your makeup was on point and all. Because I think that sometimes we waste too much time thinking about who doesn't like us, who is talking about us, and who is leaving a negative word about us. Please, if those negative people are not around us, we wouldn't have gotten to where we have gotten to. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for Obobia Dako Opoku. Shall we do it better? All right. Are you hungry? This side, are you hungry? Yes, because I can see. Those in the middle, are you hungry? Those over there, are you hungry? You are not hungry. You say you are hungry. Did you buy food? Okay, we have food for you, but that will be after the third speaker. So just hold on tight. Hold on tight, okay? Our next speaker, Shika Goka, is a certified etiquette coach who Shika received her training from the British School of Etiquette in the United Kingdom. Now, as part of her accreditation, she's also certified by the Institute of Leadership, Management, City and Guilds. Shika has more than a decade experience in the banking sector, Having worked in various roles within retail banking, mortgage services, and as a branch manager with Barclays Bank in the United Kingdom, and head of customer services with Fidelity Bank, Ghana. She's currently the Chief Operations Officer of R&R Luxury Limited, Ghana. She has also worked in finance and administration within the e-learning sector, having established the Pitman franchise in Ghana in her capacity as Managing Director. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Shika Goka. Shika is the one who teaches you how to walk, how to eat, how to talk. Obobia, Shika can teach you how to walk in heels. Thank you, Shika.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning once again, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here at this maiden event. Thank you, Nanaba, for inviting me and for giving me this platform. However, I did think that you loved me before, but I'm not sure anymore after putting me after Obobia. So powerful. And now as well, I really enjoyed both of your speeches. But it's wonderful to be here and to see all these women here, along with the men as well. You're all welcome. So good morning to our panelists. Julia, I've had the pleasure of meeting you. Amotala, it's lovely to meet you, and Eugenio as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing your stories of valor later. So, so my name is Shika Goka, and I'm an etiquette coach. A lot of people ask me, what is it that I actually do as a coach? Well, I like to believe that I'm in the business of elevating people's potential and making them feel confident. And generally, I do this through either one-on-one sessions with private clients, group training sessions with corporate clients, youth etiquette boot camp with the youth, as well as other group training sessions, such as the Quintessential Lady Workshop, which I'm extremely proud of. It's probably one of the things that I love to do the most. So, in understanding what etiquette really is, well, it's the customary code of polite behavior for people that belong to a particular society, group, organization. So already we can tell that wherever we find ourselves, whether we're at work, in our personal relationships, in a professional setting, there is a particular way that we're expected to behave and conduct ourselves. We find that when we know the right thing to do, it's so much easier for us to get along than when we find ourselves lacking. You know, as a Ghanaian who grew up in England, it's not everything that I was taught about some of our customary codes of polite behavior. For instance, I used to hear the terms, sorry for my left, a lot when I came, and I didn't really understand what that meant. And I had to dig deeper. And then I realized, it's actually considered impolite or even rude or disrespectful to receive things and pass them with your left hand. Now, don't get me wrong, my parents are extremely well-mannered people, and they brought me up well, but I guess growing up in England, it just never really was a thing to pay attention to these local customs. And so it's something that I had to learn. On top of that too, I would often enter a room and I'm ready, poised, to greet everybody just the way that my parents taught me, you know, with a smile, good afternoon, auntie. And then all of a sudden I see people doing this, you know, and basically they were guiding me because I was doing the wrong thing. In England, everything you do is from the left to the right. But in Ghana, you're supposed to enter a room and start greeting people from your right to your left. So once again, I found myself lacking, and I was a bit embarrassed. Of course, I didn't intend to insult or offend anybody by my actions, but it's simply because I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. And I realized this is why etiquette is so important, because it allows you to understand what you're expected to do at the right time and in the right audience as well. Okay. So let's go back to the beginnings of etiquette and really understand some of the origins. Well, many years ago, there lived an ancient Chinese philosopher and a politician, and his name was Confucius. And he realized that as a society to thrive, we had to pay attention to particular things, and one of them was social morality, justice, kindness, empathy, and respect. All of these things he coined under one umbrella called REN, R-E-N, which simply means loving others. With this, he then went on to remind us in many different ways how we can keep going back to the basics and understanding how we can comport ourselves in public, at home, in our workplaces, and even within our personal relationships. He found lots of ways of doing this, and some of them he even managed to coin quotations that we still use today. One of them famously was, "What you do not wish for others, do not do. What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others." Simply put, and paraphrased, treat other people how you want to be treated yourself. And this was one of the many foundations of etiquette and manners that we know today. So I'm going to attempt to do what I would normally do in a 5.5-hour interactive session with my audience, and I'm just going to try and summarize in about 10 minutes what the importance of being a quintessential lady is all about today. I've seen one of my customers hide there. So, the word quintessential simply means something in its perfect form or a typical example of something. And the word lady has also evolved over time. Before, it used to mean a woman of high social position or standing. It can also mean the female equivalent of a lord, particularly if you're born into British nobility. It can also mean a woman who behaves in a way that is traditionally thought of for women to behave, but it can also mean a woman who is polite, refined, and respectable. So, a quintessential lady is either the epitome or the perfect example of a fine, polite, and refined lady. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So often we'll hear the word lady and we'll think of things like classy, polite, refined, poised, and all of those things are absolutely spot on. So we're going to dispel some myths about what a lady is not. And earlier on I heard somebody use the word superiority. This is not what a quintessential lady is. She doesn't look down on people just because she happens to know a few things that other people have not had the privilege of learning. She is not about pretense. She doesn't put on fake accents or pretend to know more than she does. And just like Obobia said, wears expensive clothes just to try and prove a point. In fact, a quintessential lady may have many high-end and expensive possessions, but she may also have none. She could be extremely and highly educated, even have a PhD, and she could also just be a school graduate. Okay. Being a lady is not about weakness. You know, we know now so many women are occupying positions in very, very high offices. They are also business owners, they are entrepreneurs, MDs, CEOs, all of that. So, you can become very, very successful as a quintessential lady. Also, being a quintessential lady does not mean that you are weak. In fact, we're going to hear many stories of bravery here today, and I'm sure you will all agree with me that every single one of our panelists here are showing that they are a true lady, even by the way that they are sat. Okay. So, being a lady and yes, is not a sign of weakness at all. And being a lady definitely isn't a thing of the past. Okay. A lot of people will say, what is this all about? It sounds very antiquated, but it actually isn't. If we understand the origins of it, we'll see that it's still very, very relevant today. And we'll go on to understand why. Once again, Obobia mentioned something about working hard. One of the main characteristics of a quintessential lady is that she does work hard. Wherever she finds herself, even if she's somebody who simply runs a house, she runs her own business, or she works for somebody else's organization, she could be trusted upon to turn up every single day on time. Punctuality is key for her, but she's a hard worker and she makes use of her time when she is there. She has integrity. She's extremely honest and can be relied upon. You would trust her with anything, any of your possessions, and know that they'll be well looked after. She's well read. You know, she likes to exercise her mind. She likes to get to know more than what's just in front of her. She asks questions at the right time, and she seeks the answers to questions that she doesn't really have the answers for. In a conversation, she's extremely attentive. She looks you in the eye and she pays attention. She will not be on her phone or be distracted. and she will empathize with you. Exactly. A quintessential lady is mindful of her words. She knows the effects that certain conversations or even statements have on the person who is hearing them. She's not likely to say, "Hey, Nanaba, you have put on weight." She's thoughtful, and she's not the sort of person who wants to embarrass or belittle another person. She's also in control of her emotions. How many of you drive here? Hands up. Yeah. So I'm sure we've all experienced an episode of a bit of road rage. We were driving along happily, doing what we're supposed to do, and somebody just comes and cuts us up. You know, the temptation to wind down the window and say, "Hey, Kwasi Asem, idiot, didn't you see me there?" But you know, a quintessential lady knows that in that moment, she needs to gain control of her emotions, simply because she's going to go on, probably get to work, and forget to greet the parking attendant or even the security man who normally opens the door for her, because she's still reeling from the anger of that slip up on the road earlier on. The quintessential lady greets everybody with a smile because she knows how to make a good first impression. And in fact, she loves to shake hands as well. Does anybody know how to shake hands when they're meeting and greeting? Please come up. There we go. Thank you for my volunteer. Very, very good. So just to demonstrate, when you have the opportunity to meet somebody for the first time, there are a couple of things that you should pay close attention to. And number one is eye contact. Number two is a smile. And number three is a good, firm handshake. Not the floppy fish sort of thing where it looks like somebody doesn't really want to touch you, but a nice, firm grip, web to web, and one or two fist bumps. And in that moment, you simply want to introduce yourself, the name that you want to go by. Okay, you may have been blessed with about 10 names, but we don't need to hear them all. Just simply tell us the name that you want to go by.
Hello, I'm Roxanne.
My name is Shika. So a normal greeting would go like so. Shikagoka, how do you do?
Roxanne, how do you do?
And I just love the way that she did that. Now, you may be wondering, thank you, Roxanne. You may be wondering why the response to how do you do is how do you do? Well, simply put, it's traditionally deemed a little inappropriate to ask a complete stranger how you are. And sometimes you don't even want to hear how a person is before they tell you, today, you know, I woke up with piles and a backache, so I'm not feeling so well. No, you want to get straight to the point and simply introduce yourself, and that was beautifully done. So thank you very much. A quintessential lady knows how to dress for every occasion, okay? She knows the difference between attending an event where she's asked to wear black tie and when she's simply going to watch a football match. And in the same vein, her comportment, the way that she behaves, is also aligned with where she finds herself. She can go to watch a football match at a stadium and cheer on her favorite team and be shouting and, you know, clapping when they score. But she's the same lady who can also go and watch a musical concert, a recital, and sit down quietly to the end where she will simply give a clap because she knows that talking prior to that moment could distract the people who are actually putting on the performance. She's well poised and dignified. She's kind to other women. She speaks well of them and she lifts them up as she's going along. A quintessential lady is somebody who is punctual. She's mindful of other people's time. And on top of that too, when she goes out, she knows her alcohol limits and she will not exceed it. She's not likely to be found tripping out of a bar or club at the end of the night. She knows exactly what her limit is and she won't exceed it, so she won't embarrass herself. A quintessential lady is empathetic. She's always considering the feelings of others. And she always puts other people first. She's a pleasure to have around. You know, Justice Clarence Thomas once said, "Manners will open the doors that even the best education cannot." and this still holds very true today. We're nothing without our reputation, and it's our reputation that will allow doors to open for us. In life, we're often seeking ways to discredit the opinions of other people, and especially of late, we're always hearing things like, oh, it doesn't really matter what people think of you, oh, it's none of your business. But that's okay if you plan on being a hermit and living under a rock somewhere. But for many of you here who are going to sit in front of panels and interview for jobs, it is essential to have the backing of the person who is going to be interviewing you. In that scenario, it does matter what people think of you. If you have a great idea, just like Nanaba did, for 10 years she sat on this idea, but when she was ready, the doors opened, funding came, opportunities, people were signing up to be a part of this program, because she has built up social currency, and it's so important. In life, you will get by when people can resonate with you, when they can understand who you are as a person, and when they feel that they have a connection to you. Okay. And that is why it's so important to continue to build on these things and always show the best possible manners you can. Being a quintessential lady can even help boost your confidence. When you understand how you're supposed to eat at a dining table, you can get invited to a big banquet or a conference. It can be very overwhelming when you're not sure which cutlery to use, whether your bread plate is on the left or the right and which glass to use. When you have that knowledge because you've gone to a class and understood some of the things that you would be able to do better, you have confidence. Quintessential lady knows how to walk into a room and make friends. She knows how to attract people to her because she's aware of the power of body language. She knows that in any communication, what you actually say only accounts for about 10% of what you actually communicate to another person, and everything else is based on your body language. So she knows how to poise herself to make people attracted to her rather than to repel them against her. So, in order to become a lady, quintessential lady, I would suggest the following. Number one, definitely sign up to my class the next time that you see it advertised. But on a serious note, you should read more, get to understand a little bit more about the world and any other topics that you're passionate about. Follow influential and brave women. Follow the sort of women that you want to be and emulate them. Everything about them that you admire, try to imbibe some of that into your every single day life. Practice some of the things that we talked about, giving compliments with sincerity, being punctual, being prepared for any situation you find yourself in, and dressing appropriately for the occasion. A quintessential lady is always well turned out. She considers her appearance, she's well groomed, and she dresses appropriately for wherever she's going to be attending, whatever events, wherever she's going to be. She never looks out of place. She's always comfortable. So do that and consider your body language, empathize, and show a little bit of courage. You never know where you're going to find yourself, and sometimes you just have to step up to the plate. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is one of the things that will greatly develop you as a person. And so I encourage you all. Margaret Thatcher, the first female Prime Minister of the UK, once said, having power is like being a lady. If you have to tell people that you are, you aren't. So let that resonate for a second. There's nothing better than being out of the room and two people remarking on you and saying, wow, today I met Nan. She's such a lady, I can't wait to meet her again. What a difference that would be than now having to say, as for me, I'm a lady, so, I don't do certain types of things. It doesn't hold the same weight. Let your reputation precede you in all things that you do, and be kind to everybody around you. So in short, be the kind of quintessential lady that when you come into contact with somebody, it's refreshing to their soul. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for Shika. What more do you? how am I supposed to take the microphone?
Perfectly with your right hand, as I learned the hard way earlier.
Thank you, Shika. Let's put our hands together for her. Shika, don't go yet. Please have a seat here. I'm going to take 2 questions for Shika. 2 questions. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Fanny Loretta, one of Miss Obi's mentees. Yes, the question I have is about keeping eye contact when having a conversation with someone. When you were speaking right now, I was writing, so it's quite confusing how to do that and also not end up staring at the person. Thank you. Thank you. Next question. Okay. Oh, all the way. Please meet me. Thank you. Oh. She decided to speak first. I'm so sorry. You can ask your question when Auntie Charlotte comes up, okay?
Thank you. Yes, I'm Shalana Pechuaka. And I wanted to ask, how should a special lady react with negative comments and stigma? Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Shika, you speak Ghana.
Feel her. Even though piano, she Rachel now. Okay, so to answer the young lady about keeping eye contact during a conversation, well, I wasn't able to address you directly, so it's fine that you're writing on your pad. You came here to take notes, so you did absolutely the right thing. But when you have somebody in front of you, and it's just the 2 of you, the most polite thing is to keep your eyes on them. And sometimes, rather than just sort of staring at them for a really long time, you can do exactly what you're doing now, which is nodding in agreement to what the person is saying. You know, when women talk, it's very easy to see how they are communicating, because often when a friend is telling you a story and maybe they've opened their eyes or they're doing certain things with their hands, as women we naturally mirror that behavior, and therefore we're almost anticipating what they're going to say even before they say it. So that's one way of avoiding a really dead stare like that. So the other question was about how do you take on negative comments from somebody. Okay, well, you know, I think this was answered earlier on. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, you know, and the fact is, you're not going to please everybody. For everybody who thinks something less of you, there are going to be about 10 people who think the complete opposite. And I think that we have to learn to channel the positive comments and the positive energy from those surrounding us and try to minimize and reduce the negative comments from those who are just not into us like that. We're not going to win everybody over, but the majority of the time we will do well so long as we maintain and show respect to everybody. Nobody wants to attack me this morning. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for Shika. Our next speaker before we take a break is a woman that we all totally adore. In fact, we love everyone here. But Charlotte Osei is a highly accomplished Ghanaian business lawyer, legal and international elections consultant with over 28 years combined experiences in the public, private and non-for-profit sectors within and outside Ghana. As a woman, Charlotte has shattered many glass ceilings in her professional life. She was the first female chair of Ghana's National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE. Under her leadership, the NCCE witnessed some of its most significant transformations in its history. Again, she was the first female chair of Ghana's Electoral Commission, and within 2 years presided over a local government election, parliamentary by-elections, and Ghana's very acclaimed presidential and parliamentary elections in December 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. Oh, come on, let's do it better. Charlotte Osei.
I'm a woman and you no fit to control me, no fit to control me.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and the gentleman who sneaked in. Good to see all of you. Kwame, it's been a long time. I'm really happy to be here this morning or afternoon, even though I'm here because, as always, Nanaba used her family privileges and commanded me to be here. It's been very good listening to the amazing ladies who spoke before me. Na talked about the power of authenticity, living your own truth, embracing your little victories, even if it is being merry in KG2. Obobia also spoke some very hard truths about walking your path and being patient with yourself and understanding that it's all about process. It doesn't happen in a day. Shikaz talked to us about being the quintessential lady and how manners matter and how manners are a show of respect to yourself and to other people that you interact with. So it's been a beautiful, beautiful learning morning. And I'm really looking forward to listening to the stories from Julia, Omotola, and Eugenia. I have no doubt that their stories would empower us. Nanaba decided that I should speak on why women need courage. And it's one of the few smart things she's done, other than doing this amazing program. Because I really think that women need courage. African women in particular need courage. We need courage because the only courageous women that our societies seem to respect are the ones who are on the pages of our history books. So we love Yasantua, but we don't love the current women who are brave and who are bold. We wait until you are dead and then we adore you. And so that can be very disempowering. And you start finding women thinking that being courageous is not the right way to go, is not the right thing to do. So today we're going to talk about why we need courage. On the 22nd of August, 2017, the government of the United States of America awarded me the Women of Courage Award. I went back to read the speech by the U.S. ambassador on that evening. Let me just read a little extract from it. It said, before, during, and after the 2016 election, Charlotte faced a tremendous amount of scrutiny, under which many would have buckled. And not all the criticism was constructive or about the political process. She faced a number of personal, base, and inappropriate attacks. But regardless, she persisted. I found this, I kind of like this little bit because I think that it's not just Charlotte. Any woman who wants to do anything of significance is going to face a lot of criticism. Not all of it will be constructive. And you're going to face a number of personal-based and extremely inappropriate attacks. But you have to find the strength to persist in spite of all that. And that's why women need courage. Ryan Holiday says that courage is the management of and the triumph over fear. So courage recognizes that fears exist, obstacles exist, but courage empowers you to rise above those fears and those obstacles. Today we're going to hear phenomenal stories of courage from these amazing women. Let their stories empower you. And trust me, you'll find that they all have their fears. I have my fears, you have yours. Perhaps it may be the fear of public speaking. It may be the fear of losing a job, losing a relationship, financial insufficiency, losing a loved one. It may be a relationship going south. Sometimes it's even positive. It may be the fear of starting something new, a new business, a new job, a new career, going back to school like Obobia did. Sometimes it's just a fear of standing alone. When you think that everybody thinks differently from what you think, doing right when others are doing wrong requires courage. So we need courage every day to overcome these fears and to survive the everyday. We need courage to have children. To mother requires many acts of daily courage. You even need courage to adopt a child, to end a relationship. Courage to go beyond the limits set by our society. Our society is very good at defining women and limiting women. We are told we can't do this, we can't own a house, you can't be too wealthy, you can't be too poor, you can't be too beautiful, you can't be too ugly, you can't be too skinny, you can't be too fat. It never ends. And the other fear that a lot of women have to deal with is the fear of the weight of other people's opinions. What will people say? So women need courage because we are the most judged of all species. And we have been socialized to judge each other even more. And I think Obobia referred to that. So you are so judgmental, you're unable to even compliment another woman. Women are most labeled and most defined. There's a long list of cans and shoots that society issues to us. So women need courage to move past all these limits and these labels and these definitions and to do anything significant in their lives. So today, my call to you is to push past all this. Push past the labels, push past the definitions, push past all the obstacles that society is going to throw at you. And you don't need to wait for courage to take a big decision, to take the huge leap. Start with a small step. Divide that huge task or that huge decision into little steps, and then you start. The little acts of courage today become the building blocks of your tomorrow, the significant act that defines your future. You need to stretch yourself to see tomorrow and to move past the mistakes of yesterday. It's not easy, but it can be done. And you'll find out from the ladies who are going to be speaking that they went that way, they did it, and so you can do it. So you get past fear by doing. Not by thinking, but by doing. So be empowered by the stories you have heard today. And not only that, start seeking the stories of other women. The stories of courage and perseverance are everywhere. It's not only people who have managed an election successfully who are courageous. You will find daily little acts of courage everywhere. And it doesn't go with titles, it doesn't go with positions, it doesn't go with visibility. It is in the everyday. So the market woman who has to get up at 3 a.m. to go buy foodstuffs to go and sell, she is being courageous every single day. And there's so much you can learn from her story. The woman who is selling wachi or roasted plantain in the corner, if you take a minute to ask her, what's your story, you'll find out that in that little corner, she's managed to raise 4 or 5 children and put them through university. There's a lot you can learn from a woman like that. That is courage. So everyone has a story or 2 or 3, and we can learn from all of them. And the more we learn, the more it empowers us to do. If we look at our society today, there are so many challenges. We have very high maternal mortality rates. We have young ladies who cannot even access education, either because of poverty or because of sometimes it's just even period poverty. We have women who are sentenced to live in witches' camps because society has branded them as witches. We have a vaccine shortage going on. We have women who have there's a lot of financial inequality in our society. And women bear the brunt of all these challenges. No one is going to solve these problems except those of us who are in this room. We need to step up and take the responsibility to help other women to reach out and pull them up, because they do not have the opportunities and the advantages that we have had. And to do that, we are all going to need courage. So the acts of courage is not just because of yourself. It is because of our society and the other women and girls that we owe a responsibility to. I will end with a famous poem by Erin Hansen. She says, "There is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Take that step today and fly, and let's help each other." Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Charlotte. Please sit here. I'll take 2 questions for Auntie Charlotte. 2 questions. Okay. There's a hand there. She's in white with a face mask.
My name is Josephine, and when you show too much courage...
Sorry,
My name is Josephine Dapo, and when you show courage, they think you're a feminist, or I don't know, you're being on equal level with men in society. I've experienced that a lot. If I stand up at a place, hey, this girl, you are being too known, you are competing with them, this kind of things happen. So I want to ask how you go about that. Thank you.
Thank you. There are so many hands, but some of you didn't clap, so you're automatically disqualified. Every time I say clap, you don't clap. You see? Obobia. Anita, please bring the microphone to Auntie Obobia. Yes, you listen. I think for Auntie I can take an extra question.
Okay. So is mine an extra question?
The bonus.
Okay. Auntie Charlotte, thank you very much. I enjoyed your presentation. I want to ask you, how do you deal with pressure? I know that the events that followed after the 2016 elections, if there's anything to go by, it will take a very strong-willed woman to have survived up until now. Yeah. So I want you to tell us exactly how was the situation like, how did you go through it, and how are you surviving now?
Thank you, Auntie Obobia. It's okay. Even me too, I have a question for Auntie Charlotte. We all, hey!
Auntie Charlotte,
hey,
the question Obobia was trying to ask is, how did you not slap anybody?
Okay. That's the gun version of the question.
All right. Hi, good morning. Thank you very much for your presentation. My name is Joanna, and my question is, what has been your biggest failure or regret up till now? Because a lot of times we hear of your successes, we hear of your journey and how you have stood up until now, but what has been your biggest failure?
All right. Last question. Okay. No, it's fine. Thank you. No, I can't take any more. It's fine. Thank you. Auntie Charlotte.
The young lady who asked, I think Josephine, about being called names, I think that was the whole substance. And you'll hear from all these ladies when they speak. If you're going to do anything of significance, you will be called names. I don't know this. The only thing I haven't been called so far that I know about is murderer. But everything else, I mean, from being a prostitute to sleeping with people I've never even met, if you're going to do anything significant as a woman, I think you should, I don't say it is right, and I'm not saying we should accept it, but even as we fight it, I tell women, if you're preparing yourself to do anything of significance, prepare for the name calling. And it's not what they call you that matters, it's what you answer to. So you need to learn to just brush it away, you know. And I think that's what I meant by the weight of other people's opinions. If it is constructive, take it. In fact, with any criticism, look at it. Take what is constructive out of it and just drop the rubbish. Because it may come with a lot of rubbish. And we need to learn to manage that. Women tend to internalize the name calling too much. A second one, before I get to WoV and Na, who are just looking for trouble. The second one is on what have I failed at? I failed O-level math the first time. I'm trying to think. If I think my failures are not career related, but I think that there were times in my career where I felt that I failed my children and possibly my parents when they were older. I just was not as present as I wanted to be. I'm still not sure whether it is just mommy guilt or it's, but I think I could have done better in terms of engaging more and not just asking what do you need and providing it, especially the Electoral Commission days. I did not fully realize the damage to my children psychologically until after it was over. So that bothers me. I'm not sure I've reached the point where I think it's a complete failure. I'm still trying to fix it, but that bothers me. But I think that also is something a lot of women deal with, especially when it comes to public service and roles that can be very demanding on your time. So that and O-level math would be it. How do I manage pressure? I really don't know. People have asked me this, and they asked me particularly in the period between December 7th and December 9th. And I don't think people like my response. I really didn't care. And I tend not to care even when people think I should be worried. I got so many calls. I remember one particular call, I was sleeping. For me, elections were over. I was waiting for agents to sign off results so I can enter my office and go and look at results and announce. And they said, what are you doing? Joy FM has announced the winner of the election. I said, okay, then they should go ahead and install the person. I just went back to sleep. I try not to worry a lot. May not be good, but I think it's also kept me sane. I tend to just do my best, hand the rest over to God, and I go to sleep. So I am not a warrior by nature. So if I've done right, that's it. I hand it over and I go to bed. How did I not slap? There were times at IPAC when, but I'm not a slapper. And I try not to take a lot of things personally. And especially when you are in a room with a lot of male egos, once you understand that a lot of the push-string they're pushing is not about you, especially politicians, when they see a camera, it's different. So I could walk through the corridors, we've finished IPAC, I'll see somebody insulting me, I'll be like, hey, just now. I mean, it can't be that bad, but you see, you have to learn not to take those things seriously. If you personalize it, you'll get upset. I don't care. You can be insulting, I don't care. And I really don't. I know who I am, and it's not your name that will, I don't care. Yeah, so.
Thank you so much, Auntie Charlotte. Let's put our hands together for her. All right. We're going to take a 20 minutes break so you can have something to eat, all of us. So we made provision for food outside for all of us. So there's food. Are you not excited about the food? Yeah, so the ushers will usher you to where you can have a meal. It's not a meal. It's not banku. There's no wache there either. It's bread and coffee and hot chocolates. So for those in the black seats, the round table seats, please be seated, remain seated. I would usher you also later when our guests have gone to eat. You wait, let them eat, let them be full, then we can go and eat. Is that okay? So the ushers will usher you guys out, and then you can have something to bite. While you eat, please get to know each other. Let's network. One of the things we're here to do today is to make new friends, to network. You never know where you meet me, where you need me. And so please, and feel free to take photos with anyone that you want to take pictures. Auntie Charlotte doesn't like taking pictures, but today she has promised to be nice. So she's here. Or everyone, in fact, from my right, from Baba through to Mr. Jantwer's table, to Mrs. Jinapo's table, Sandra too is here, to the main table, Na is here, Auntie Joyce, Auntie Obobi are there, she likes pictures, so. And then to all of the tables, please feel free to take photos and network. If you need a job, to tell them. Nanaba is there. If you need a job, if you want government job, Mrs. Jinapo is here. You can talk to her. She'll help you. Sandra too has a women's institute. She too has some money to give out. See her everywhere. The lady who sells the kente is also here. You can see her. Mami too is here. She's recruiting for all my hair. Officer Nkotu is there. Trudy is here. We are all here. Feel free, okay? So enjoy your lunch break. We'll be back shortly. Please don't just take, you see, Shika said we have to behave in a certain way. So please sit down. When they call you, then you go. Don't be all over. The food is enough. Or Shika, take your time. Be a lady. Cross your leg. When they call you, then you go. Let's practice the things that we have been taught, okay? Just when I said enjoy your lunch, somebody is packing all her books. Oh, madam, why? Wait. Nicely. Look at that. Shika, is that it?
I'm a woman and you no fit to control me. No fit to control me. And when I walk into a room, you won't know me. I bet you won't know me. I'm on fire. You know fit sit up on my heat. I'm on fire. And you wanna know I'm a woman of valor. You cannot rain on my parade. I'm on fire. Woman of valor. Invincible, unbreakable, you know. Unshakable, unbendable, you know. This is my life, this is my story, and I feel bored. I'm ready to roll. I'm on fire. You know, fit sit up on my heat. I'm on fire. And you wanna know I'm a woman of valor. You cannot rain on my parade. I'm on fire. Woman of valor. Woman of valor. Woman of valor. Woman of valor. Woman of valor.
This is for my ladies in the house. And man, I'm a hustle to see the dollar bill. Me pa mo chow, man, my baby be on the house. Umpe you ma doesn't matter how you feel. Okay, this is the strength of a woman. Ain't nobody better than the boss chick. All the ladies who they fight for the moolah. What they will want nobody for touch. Cause she know the phone quick. Self-made. What you been challenging, but she be well paid. On her boy, she looking for help mate. Cause she know they suffer from sulfate. And when you were hell late, she go pull up on you. What's the work and I want my work as I wanna say, would you my yard? I'm a hang up on you. When you want ban, I would them home. I want to can I would die. They say, I got love for you. Now I get the work I got. That's still I was a work I would die. She go ride or die for you. They say, ride or die for you. Baby, don't say me, I got the love for you. My last one, CD, I got bet on you. You got my body type and I know just any girl can go the place where you can go. Girl are independent and you buy your own things and no man never rent you no condo. Where you come, so fine. 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 You can never pull a strong woman down. She got it all within a swan, I was sorry. Very confident, she never wear a frown. On Pesica, we no crash, no go worry. Or you in a dream, I got the money on her own. Nini nature crash, she go treat you like a king. But you don't get it if you don't deserve the throne. Man, I come across money anything. We ain't come a man, I'm going shopping with Dubai. I'm going to find my baby told to multiply. We you do my back, got another on the side. On you know my girl, she can't be taken for a ride. You know go if you pay the price. You know me, I got the love for you. My last one CD, I got bet on it. You got my body type and I know just any girl can go the place where you can go. Girl are independent and you buy your own things and no man never rent you no condo. Where you come, so fine. 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 Woman, you never did defend for no man overseas. You step in at the place and the whole of them freeze. You live up in a mansion and that never leaves. Any man try hype up, rest in peace. Because the strength of a woman, you go fit to do everything. Strength of a woman, yeah, make it on a play with a woman.
Feels like something doing me bottle, yeah. Are you looking for me? What bottle, yeah. It's like I'm walking far away to you. Baby, don't try me, come closer, let me do you this. Big body pocket, what you say now? The way you do me so, don't call me Baba. I be needing my peace, oh, big body girl, what you say now? It's like there's something running down below. When you do me like this, and I really wanna say nice things, just go show your door. Oh, you know why me. It's still we go inside that grave. Cause if you wouldn't know my life, Bacala, miss you know. Another hit, you know. Another. Cause if you wouldn't know my life, Bacala, miss you know. Bacala, miss you know. Cause if you wouldn't know my life, I will come through. I will come running right there with you. And you know like this, so and if you tell me your wishes, I will come through. I will come running right there with you. And you know like this, so it's like I'm walking far away to you. Baby, don't try me, come closer, let me do you this. Big body girl, what you say now? The way you do me so, don't call me Baba. I be needing my peace, oh, big body girl, what you say now? It's like there's something running down below. When you do me like this, and I really wanna say nice things, just go show your door. Oh, you know why me. It's still we go inside that grave. It's like there's something running down below. When you do me like this, and I really wanna say nice things, just go show your door.
Let's take it back to yesterday. Before the war, before the fights. You know they give me no funny replies. Where you they send me memes for Insta. Young Kasa, you know they beg. And say me fry, you know they answer. Why you they say you know they need me? Why you they treat me like a stranger? Girl, when I'm in love with you, and I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody. Girl, I don't just they play. Say I don't wanna live a day without you. If you say I do some things, I just won't change.
Let's take it back to yesterday. When you call me one and only. When you come see me for love, I go love you like I love you. In private. When I wake up, you be first thing on my mind. I something need by one of a kind. I know say them break your heart before, so you the fear to fall in love. But I go fight till the day I go call you mine. All day. Men come, baby. In sweetie, in jolly. Men come, lady. Oh, my baby, you're a queen. Compliment me as a king. Get the boy and small, go do, baby. Grab a fin, man, no. Grab a fin, man, no. Grab a fin, man, no. Baby, a brand new woman coming for you. Because send me to one baby is deep. We serious moon, I make you my happiness. Yeah, me body when you be a metro moon. Yeah, I take book and say, Memra will fly. Whoop on me, projector. Seriously, I will die. Oh, my baby, you're a queen. Compliment me as a king. Kete boy, it's you mama go down, baby. Bra, feel my no. Bra, feel my no. Bra, feel my no. I feel my no. It's your boy. I no go lie. When I see you, then I die. Cause if they love you like I love you, touch you like I touch you, and they think about you every night. You over me, girl, I no go lie. Cause if they kiss you like I kiss you, I she miss out. Uni so, I miss one. Ora se wamba, net ya mi. Be who sa one in one, I me wo. Ora se wamba, net ya mi. Baby, I'm jealous. Baby, I'm jealous. Make her make so jealous. I know they feel control it. Yeah. Baby, I'm jealous. Make her make so jealous. Girl, I make so jealous. I know they feel control it. Yeah. I just see you make happy without me. You treat you better than I did. Got you feeling like a queen. Oh baby, lately I just see you make happy without me. You treat you better than I did. Got you feeling like a queen. Miss one. Ora se wamba, net ya mi. You was I one in one of you. Ora se wamba, net ya mi. Baby, I'm jealous. Baby, I'm jealous. Make her make so jealous. I know they feel control it. Yeah. Baby, I'm jealous. Make her make so jealous. Girl, I make so jealous. I know they feel control it. You what me wanting. Only you make my heart go fresh on the beat. Only you what me wanting. Sweet, Fanta Diallo. Oh, shawty, you're my angel. And I can see your halo. You love me so please, Fanta Diallo. I've been looking for you my whole life. Girl, I've been searching for you. My mascatella, Mirinda, baby. Only you make my heart go boom, boom, hey. a wonder. Oh my lover, oh my lover. When shall I see my lover? When shall I see my baby? Oh, I will never forget my baby. I'm looking for my Cinderella, 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 Cinderella. Have you seen my Cinderella? Looking for my Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. Have you seen my Cinderella? Girl, I wanna be your soldier. You got my attention, I dey focus on you. No rush, I dey. Me a one day, my day. Baby, give me love, we go bust my brain. For me, holy water, we go touch my brain. You're my sweet, sweet Fantariano. I've been searching for you my whole life. Over and over, my girl, out of way. Sweet Fantariano. Waiting for you my whole life. I'm looking for my Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. Have you seen my Cinderella? Looking for my Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. Bad man
Hey beautiful, do you know how I feel? I've been searching all my life for you, for real. African girl, about to Tunguni. If I'm a fan, I'm bonita. Oh, well, not a fair, bash, or do you would have fair? For a cool man, no, mammy. Well, not a fair, bash, or do you would have fair? For a cool man, no, mammy. Nothing's your connect all day. Never my power. Yeah. Nothing you connect all day. Never my power. Yeah. So put your temper, baby. Put your temper, baby. I will show you dollar, baby. I will show you dollar, baby. Put your temper, baby. Put your temper, baby. I will show you Maria.
What else am I gonna pump it? It's so
Maria. I support Maria. I just want to know, baby, do you ever think of me anymore? Baby, do you? Me see, I just want to know, love me, do you ever think of me anymore? Love me, do you?
Baby, do you miss me? What else am I gonna pump it? Yeah, I know say me that you know be together, but sometimes I don't wonder if you remember that. We used to talk about the way we go marry, nobody for come between us, man, never be walk on over. Do you ever think about the sex? Do you ever think about going back to your ex? I hope the boy for fun him I was stressed. Everything happened for a reason, but do you regret? Do you miss me? Meaning say they make me risky. I don't wanna cause trouble, I'm a little tipsy. My game home I feel when I make you drink whiskey. I can't imagine life without you when I'm 60, so I just wanna know how you feel. I don't say you move on, but me they still. Girl, I miss the Netflix and chill. Me, I just wanna keep it real.
I just want to know, baby, do you ever think of me anymore? Baby, do you? Me see, I just want to know, love me, do
I know come so far, me I go enjoy my life. I know they catch feelings, I they catch these vibes. Play with me, yeah, you go catch these hands. Nobody knows tomorrow, me I go enjoy my life. Nobody knows tomorrow, me I go enjoy my life.
just the ball like Ronaldo. So we the party every day and every night. Move your body to the rhythm of the sound. Problem no they finish cool with your temper, yeah. And now boy go say, so pass me the hand and the hook. Nobody knows tomorrow. Me, I'm gonna enjoy my life. Nobody knows tomorrow. Me, I'm gonna enjoy my life. Go go gaga, go 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 gaga, go go gaga, go 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 gaga. I swear, I swear.
10 p.m. is a party time. 247 is a jolly time. Me and my guys, we all the town down. We ever ready to pay the town rent. 247, we all steady grind. Too much play, but we know they mind. We know they see enemies, me I read. Just let us see any yes in mind. Run that kill it. There for the back, if you get chance, challenge. Make you no dull for link up, challenge. Yeah, yeah. Bad man coming with us, these. When I pull up in my Maserati, you are feel it in a breeze. You are feel it in a breeze. Bad man coming with a steez, yeah, yeah. When I pull up in my Maserati, you are feel it in a breeze. You are feel it in a breeze. Make it call your buddies, call my buddies, gang buddies, chop like buddies, your night like buddies, party hard buddies, rock like buddies, we no send nobody. Charlie, where the party day? Feels like December, big holiday. I know we cool like a holiday. I know it feels like a money day. I gotta see where the money day, make moves like a money day. Charlie, where the party day? Feels like December, big holiday. I know we cool like a holiday. I know it feels like a money day. I gotta see where the money day, make moves like a money day.
We in a party mood a while out. All kind of drink they can't run out. Big young them they are from near a far out until tomorrow. We not follow. Wind up on me. Me love the way you style it, girl. Me love the way your body slim thick like me. I wanna be a rocky girl. Me go so then all my life in a party. Me never seen a party like this. And when we pull up a party like this, we treat them back like this.
Make you grab that kill it, 2 for kill it, plenty kill it. There for the back if you get chance, challenge. Make you no dull for link up, challenge. Yeah, yeah. Bad man coming with a steez.
We just steez.
When I pull up in my Maserati, you are feel it in a breeze. You are feel it in a breeze. Bad man coming with a steez. Yeah, yeah. When I pull up in my Maserati, you are feel it in a breeze. You are feel it in a breeze. Make it call your buddies, call my buddies, gang buddies, chop like buddies, your night like buddies, party hard buddies, rock like buddies, we no send nobody.
Make this love never pay. Make it day. And I hope say you feel the same. All these things when you got me, I'm ready to marry. When I pull up, you said you are. And I want you to be my wife. Oh, I don't let, come and show me that you love me. Yeah. Me, I know you carry your love to play. Me, I know you carry your love to play. I don't let, come and show me that you love me. Yeah. Me, I know you carry your love to play. I dey Cape Town, I see one, it can beg, I no chaser. She won't keep me something, I no take her. If you know the you, they be my paper, oh paper. I know they fake am, look. Don't you ever say you wanna break up, look. Baby girl, you know wanna be take am. Promise me before I press accelerator. Yeah. One thing I know is true love is in your eyes. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't take me play. Show me that you love me, yeah. Me, I know you carry your love to play. Me, I know you carry your love to play. I don't let, come and show me that you love me, yeah. Me, I know you carry your love to play. Oh.
Please come back inside. Let's come back inside.
We pull up with the bomb killer. We come through like John Cena. Anything they do, we they do better. Hide your girl, cause we don't give up. We know the fear, shell it, and we look fly. Opete, sweet vibes, yeah, yeah.
Please, let's come back inside.
Me and the guys, we there for one corner, oh corner, oh corner. Hide your love, oh love, oh love. From the fire, fire, oh fire, yeah. Me and the guys, we there for one corner, oh corner, oh corner.
Let's come back inside.
From the fire, fire, oh fire.
Please stop serving food. Let's come back inside. Let's come back inside, please. And please don't enter the hall with food, please. Hey, don't enter the hall with food. They didn't remind me.
We carry on. Oh my God. I bet you are feeling this song. We know the fear, shell it, and we look fly.
The high table is disrespecting the order. Abna, you two, you ate here, me boy. Through the ALX, everybody, high table. Please, let's come inside.
Finally, I see your face. Ooh, oh my days.
Auntie Charlotte. Now fine, all you need.
I just want to say
you're fine. Auntie Charlotte, did you have something? Coffee. Okay, brownie.
I know fit to connect within the back.
Shall we please be seated?
Even if I play defense, I won't comport myself, I can't. I fall for you down flat. I fall for you down flat. I will not know you bad. I swear you bad. I swear you bad. I know fit to reset, I know fit to connect within your back, say make a defend. I know fit to defend, even if I play defense. I won't comport myself.
Let's be.
I tell you this one be divine fine. Every woman is a superwoman. Every woman is a champion. We know
Araba Kumsin. Araba Kumsin and the Joy FM crew. Please come and sit down. Araba Kumsin. Araba Kumsin. Please come and sit down.
We go do chaka chaka baby. Do soko soko baby. We no go hear nobody. Wamukana ya no more. Mississippi Masuna di Lumba. We be gone till November. Leaving up in a Bermuda. Other is so I give me sugar. Hey, yeah.
Come on. Okay, we are shutting the doors. Let's shut the doors. We are shutting the doors. If you are not inside, we are shutting the door. Thank you. No. No pictures. After. I'm shutting the door. 1. At the count of 5. I'm shutting the door. Let's be seated, please. Oh, so after everything Shika taught us, you people are not being the nice ladies. Shika says that Shika says quintessential ladies are always on time. They respect other people's feelings. You people don't respect my feelings. I say come and sit down. After the whole lecture on quintessential ladies, you are still there. You are not quintessential ladies. And I'm hurt because you don't care about my feelings. I said come and sit down. Then you come and sit down. At all. Joy FM for so count. Araba. Quintessential ladies. So let's all agree that those outside, they are not quintessential ladies. After all that we've said, even when I went outside, some were looking at my face. I said, come inside. She was still looking at my face. Oh, Shika. AYA. Some of you don't want to be quintessential ladies. No matter what we do. Okay, we are all quintessential ladies. Please come inside. Let's come inside, please. You're welcome back to the women of Valour. Let's put our hands together for ourselves. When we say clap, you won't clap. When an opportunity comes and I don't call you, you say Sewa is wicked. Please clap. Thank you. You're all lovely people. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the Women of Valour has got a theme song, right? How many of us can sing that song? How many of us can sing it? Oh, Araba knows how to sing it. Baba is not here. All right, so we were blessed to have Sinner Soul do that song for us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Sinner Soul. Let's put our hands together for her. Let's put our hands together for her.
What an absolute honor to be here in the midst of women of valor. Oh my God. So before I do the theme song, let's do something small first. Mi beria sise na se uye me moi mi beria sise me bero kwa Otumosie. Let's go. They are ready. Okay. Let's go like this. You know you can dance if you want to. You can stand and dance. Feel free. Let's go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah. Say. Although you say I know better, I know you're my baby. Although you say I know better. Is that what? It's when I'm in the lighting frame. I wanna be born in the show. Although you say I know better. Hey. What is that? Sorry, no, but one drink, go down to one drink. I said what? When you mention into Mintina, me wanna swam into Mingasa, me do it, say I know better. Me baby, I say, me better don't go, not till you hear me more, in your yeah. Me baby, I say, me better don't go, let's do this.
I need someone to come
hey, let's go now.
Me and I make yeah. Now I found someone to sit on my throne. Your friend or him,
hey,
I love you.
Hey,
me to be honest, you.
I said what?
Oh yeah, me mouth be chanka me at all. Inko si sepo beda santi me mudie. Otumo sie me ne wale. When them there send ya me no. When them there send ya me no. When them there send ya me no. Me baby I say me better don't go. Until you need more in your yeah. Me baby I say me better don't go.
Me better won't say what me you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. So, as our lovely lady Sewa mentioned, we have a theme song, and I was honored to be on it, honored to create it. It's called Woman of Valor. And if you know you're a woman of valor, see, I'm coming down. This song, we are dancing. Oh. We are not sitting down at all, and everyone is dancing. Everyone, even on your tables, you all dance. Because if you are sitting, it means you are not a woman of valor. Exactly. So we are all dancing. Can we drop it? Let's go. Say, let's go.
I'm a woman and you know fit to control.
Hey, get up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. See, and when I walk into a room, you will know. Women of valor, come forward. Women of valor, come forward. Come forward. Come forward. Let's go.
I'm on fire. You know fit sit up on my heat. I'm on fire.
See,
and you will not know I'm a woman of valor. Hey, you cannot rain on my parade. I'm on fire.
I'm on fire.
Woman of valor.
Listen.
Invincible, unbreakable.
let's go, let's go. Unshakable, unbendable, you know. Listen, this is my life, this is my story, cannot be ignored. I'm ready to roll. I'm on fire. Say, you got this heat up on my heat. I'm on fire. And you wanna know I'm a woman of valor. You cannot rain on my parade. I'm on fire, woman of valor. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Look like this. Okay. Let's go. Let's. Woman of valor. Woman of valor. Say, woman of valor. Oh, oh. Yeah, can I hear you? 1, 2, woman of valor. Hey, 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 hey. One more time, woman of valor. Guys, you guys are amazing. Woman of valor. See, you not to control me, oh. No, see. And when I walk into a room, you would know. See, I bet you would know me. I bet you would know me. See, I'm on fire. You know, please sit up on my heat. I'm on fire. Say, and you would not know I'm a woman of valor. You cannot rain, you cannot rain, no woman can rain, no, no. See, invincible, unbreakable, you know. You better know, you better know. See, unshakable, unbendable, you know. This is my life, this is my story, and I be ignored. I'm ready to roll. I'm on fire. You know this sit up on my heat. I'm on fire. And you wanna know I'm a woman of valor. See, you cannot rain on my parade. I'm on fire, woman of valor. Hey, let's go now. Come on, come on. Woman of valor. Woman of valor. Hey, come on, come on, come on. Woman of valor. Woman of valor. Woman of valor, give it up for yourself. Give it up for yourself. You've been amazing. Thank you.
Okay, should we allow Sina to go? Should she come back? Sina, please come back. Oh, Sina. See the way I'm calling her Sina, like she said Sina. Let's put our hands together for Sina Soul. That was beautiful. I love the energy. You're dancing because you've had something to eat. Let's put our hands together for Nanaba for giving us food. We want to say thank you once again for coming. We know that it was tough getting through with the registration and all. We are grateful. We are ready for the second part of the conference, if I should call it. And this is where stories are going to be told. Relatable stories, if you can. And they'll be saying it all. No holding back. I want to believe so. Yes, we are ready. Are we ready? Yes. Are we ready? Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our very first speaker, Eugenia Bafo Banko. Eugenia is a young entrepreneur. She's a social entrepreneur, I must say, and she's a women's advocate. She's an advocate for girls who have gone through one form of violence or the other. She's been a marketing consultant for an European business organization. Later, she was a senior marketing manager for Orion Advertising Agency. Eugenia has done a lot of work before she decided to quit and focus on full-time advocacy. She is the founder of Safe Spaces. It's an NGO that seeks to protect women. So the last time I met Eugenia, she told me quite a bit of what Safe Spaces does. And I'm sure that after today, we'd all like to join Safe Spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Eugenia. And this is how the session is going to be. So there'll be no questions. After their presentation, they will sit. Julia will present, and then finally, Omotala. I'll have a conversation with them, and then I can take a few questions. That's how it's going to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Eugenia Bafo Banko.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be here this afternoon in front of you all. When I wrote my speech down, I didn't think my little niece was going to be here, so I might have to tweak a few things that I'm going to talk about my story. So, my courageous story, it's not just about sexual violence. It's not just about domestic violence. It's not just about loss, death, loss of self-worth, self-identity issues, self-harm, and even suicide. I'm sorry I didn't give a trigger warning before I started, but the conversation I'm going to be having with you today is about violence. I look around here, I see all these beautiful women, all these courageous women, powerful men too as well here, and I will tell you I'm very, very surprised to be here. If someone told me over a decade ago that I would be here in front of you all, I probably would have said, you know what, yeah, because I don't want anybody to think that I don't have the self-confidence, but deep inside I really would have doubted that. I have no idea how I'm still here today, but I will be sharing pieces of my story with you if you don't mind. Older men, as old as my father, who do that to me. It took some time for me to understand, but I still had an idea that this was certainly malicious in a certain form of sense. Aware, and my 7-year-old niece here, I hope that perhaps she can take Years back, I used to be very embarrassed about saying it because in our community it's sort of taboo to talk about something like that. It's taboo for anyone to come in front of you and say, oh yes, I have been assaulted before. It's not pretty. It's not for fans. It's not for attention. It's not for anything, but it did happen to me. I was 12 years old at the time, and it was with somebody that I trusted. In Ghana here, when we were growing up, I know that for a lot of sexual abuse teachings, African mothers avoid that kind of conversations with their children, but I would hope that all women here would endeavor to teach their children about violence, especially because it's not at all stranger danger, because that was what I was told when I was growing up. If you go to skirt, don't pass the alleyways, don't go to a dark corner, don't go into an uncompleted building. Every movie we saw, every time somebody was assaulted, it was in an uncompleted building, I remember. But you're wrong, it's happening in your homes. For me, it happened just about 500 meters from my home, which was my safe space. It wasn't meant to be somewhere, someone that I would trust would do something like that to me. Now, I wanted to go a bit into detail about how that happened, but I would refrain from that because of the child here. However, it only lasted to my memory for about a minute, but it was damaging for the rest of my life. And up until I found the courage to be able to do something about my story and my trauma. For about a decade, I certainly didn't know who I was. I didn't understand what worth was. I didn't understand what an identity was. I had so much memory repression. The first guy who raped me will not be the only guy to assault me. And statistically, it's proving that especially child sexual abuse victims and even adult abuse victims will certainly go on in life and experience at least one or two forms more of abuse. And so when other people, other men, older men who should have convinced me to lay with them, and since I was a child, I was groomed. I didn't know better. I couldn't have known better. I also know that in that same breath, I was judged by it. Most of the time, not even by men, but women like myself. In my life meant that I went through